Hey y'all. So my client, say hey. Hey. So I told her we're gonna do a quick consultation before we do her twist. That's what we're doing today, right? And she went ahead and just started filling stuff out. So most clients do this because they assume that they know the answers to these questions. Now, it is very rare. I probably have had one person out of like the 100 consultations I've had in the past few months where they've gotten a few of the answers correct. Okay, so we're gonna go over these questions together. So the first question we're gonna start at is usually the first 3 to 4 or 5 questions on the form is, you know, their contact information and their personal information. And then I believe we start at hair color, and that's where we work our way down on the form together, okay? Because y'all don't really be knowing, okay? Now, let's start at hair color, my love. Go all the way up. Oh, she has the tablet in her hand, as you can see. So your hair color, you could say it's black, absolutely, but you do have gray hairs. We have sparse gray hairs around the head. So we're gonna put comma, sparse gray hairs. Now, why this is important, right? You have to know the exact hair color that the client has. A lot of the time, the roots will be darker than the ends because the roots are fresh, they're new, and they have not as much, you know, contact with the sun or heat or any other chemical that they've been interfered with. So they're usually darker than the roots. For her, because she doesn't play with chemicals at all, she really takes care of her hair, like really takes care of her hair. She rarely wears extensions, so she mostly wears her natural hair all the time, and she knows about, you know, weather conditions. You know, she's lived with her hair for a long time to understand what it takes to keep her hair nice and soft and one color, basically. So her hair, you could say, is completely virgin. It is black, and it does have sparse gray hairs through it. One thing I am shocked about is how soft this hair is. Oh my God. This hair is so soft, y'all. Okay? Like, and it's soft to where it's not greasy. It's just soft. Like, she said she detangled it for me before she arrived. But sheesh, did she detangle it? Okay, so we got hair color, boom, sparse gray hairs. Also, this is important to know because let's say if you want to get a hair color service by someone else or braiding service by someone else, that'll help them know. You can use the same form, this consultation form that I use on my clients. You can use that same form to give to your other stylists, because I don't do everything, okay? Or maybe I'm not where you live, or maybe you just want to go to somebody else. Shit, I ain't hating. But you have this information to give them so they know how to better prepare for your hair. Let's say if you're getting hair color, they would know, okay, you have certain grays. I'm going to use a certain type of developer to make sure that the color that I'm using would cover those grays. For her, she has sparse gray hairs, so it wouldn't be a big deal for them to have to go crazy on having to make sure that they have extra coverage. But if there was someone to have a lot of gray hairs, if it's noted in the consultation, they would know. Let's move further down. You have your hair length, right? Her hair length is what we're going to measure right now. Shoulder length is not going to be accessible. We don't do shoulder length, mid-back length. We don't do that. That's what we use to describe extensions. We use actual inches to describe your natural hair. Okay, so we're gonna use her measuring tape, because I usually use my finger. I'm Haitian. I like to use the inches of my finger, and it's right, but shoulder length, mid-back length, we don't do that. That's what we use to describe extensions. We use actual inches to describe your natural hair. Okay, so we're gonna use her measuring tape, because I usually use my finger. I'm Haitian. I like to use the inches of my finger, and it's right, but she's gonna use.
Hello.
Oui.
Ça c'est bien pour moi.
Non, pas de souci là.
Qu'est-ce que vous avez dit? Allez là.
I don't know if I yeah. Sorry. What happens when you barge your penis? Okay. Sorry about that. She's asking somebody to buy. So I'm like, she's gonna keep the ear and then just like, you know, so I got she's like, oh, what the big? Yeah, so what was that thing with child?
You're talking about the length.
The length.
You know that it's inches.
Yes,
I was going to
inches.
measure mine before I came in, but I was waiting.
No, we're not gonna do that, Miss Know It All. So what we're gonna do is, and I love it. Don't trust you. I love every bit of it. I'm proud of you. You actually know your hair, okay? Unlike lots of people. even myself sometimes. Okay, like I'm still learning too. So this is dope that you actually know what your hair needs. What was I gonna? Yeah. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna untwist your entire head, and then what I like to do is also measure from the front to the middle to the back. So, because they usually are 3 different lengths. I have some people who have bob cuts, some people who have one side that's longer than the other. So you know, like
One side of mine is longer
than the other.
because
So,
I pick on one side.
of course you do, young lady. So measuring that will give me a better idea of how long your hair really is. And you know, that's also good to know if you're going to another braider. You send her that form and she'll know, okay, you have this hair that's long, another braider, or she said, oh, he's so sweet. But if you're going to anyone else, do anything else, they'll know, okay, she has this much hair, I'm gonna need this much product. I'm gonna need this much color. I'm gonna need this much hair, right? So it's not just for me, it's for you, and it's also for the people you go to if you do, you know, chair hop, or if you do have other professionals that you trust. Like I said, I'm not hating, but she said it ain't happening. But also another thing to make this consultation form really up to date and as clear. Well, yeah, as clear and up to date as possible would be to make sure that you revise it every 6 months, okay? So every 6 months you want to update that. And, you know, things happen, like your health changes, you know, what you do to your hair changes. Sometimes you're saying, well, you're never going to put color in, and all of a sudden you wake up one day and now you got color in your hair, right? So you want to just go ahead and, or sometimes you're a model for something, right? Because that happens. You're a model for something, and then all of a sudden you just put something in your head, and you didn't even know it's gonna alter your hair, and it did. And now, you know, you want to include that in the form. Trust me. And it also helps you see how far you have come in your hair care journey, if you're taking care of yourself or if you're not. I see it as like a little journey of a form. It's something you can update all the time. When you finish the form, you're able to get it, get a copy in your email, and you can update it there too. You can take a look at it there too. If there's something you forgot, you can upload it right there for your email. So yeah, there's that. Let's move it on in a moment. And you know how to open that measuring tape thingy? Your hair is beautiful, mama. Goodness. I find myself saying that a lot in salon lately. That my clients have beautiful hair. They really do though. They really do. Like even in the condition, they be like panicking and stuff. And I'm like, no, bro, you have no idea how beautiful this is. Like,
People kill for that. And you can do so much. That's why I was like, why do you need like our hair? Because we can get the blowouts. You can wear the braids.
You can get this straight.
You can make it look like it's locked with the mini tape. Like you don't even have to lock your hair.
You can literally do whatever. I actually had my therapist one time. She was white, and she was telling me how her mother was complaining because she was sad at the fact that her hair couldn't do all the same stuff that all the other kids in her class could do. Because she had several other kids in her class who, you know, like look like me, and they had curly hair and they could do so much fun stuff with it. And then she was just like, they can too, but you know, there's only so much that they can do. Because hair is the fabric. You gotta think about how it extends and contracts, and that's all hair does. And you want to make sure it can contract back into the original state. That's usually, you know, it's healthy state. People call it shrinkage. I call it elasticity, meaning your hair is healthy, okay? So, yeah, and that is your hair is healthy. It's healthy. Like,
See what happened when you put this out, I can't do nothing.
They're beautiful. They're beautiful. It's happy. That's how they should do that. Why did you go there?
When you straighten it,
Me too. And see, I'm twisting and I'm using my 4 fingers. I'm not using my nail. Using your nail is what causes the tangling in the first place. It breaks your nail too fast. But when you're using your palm and your 4 fingers to detangle, it's really easy. Okay? And that goes for all types of hair. Natural hair, synthetic hair, fake hair, even fabric. Hot fabric is the same way. You want to treat it with hair like that. Beautiful hair already short. Oh my lord.
saw you first.
That's good. Yeah, you have to show that. That's the chair, isn't it? Yeah, you too. Yeah, beautiful. Okay, so let's measure this thing. First thing first, the check. This one. So I'm doing is smoothing it out with this part of my hair, not my nails. And then let me take this. It's the measure for me. Okay, so you got about 8 to 9 inches in the back. If you were to straighten it, I'm sure this is 10, but this is giving you cut 8 to 10 inches here. This is giving huge steps. And you're also measuring the other side, because like you mentioned, those sides tend to have different rings.
And I have a perfect side.
So you want to measure the same side on the opposite side. You want to put it back area, and then first smooth it out with your hand. Smooth that out, get that straightened out as soon as possible. Get the scissors, get the real laces, and then put that ruler there to the root. Over here. Ah, this one is 7 to 8 inches. You playing? Yeah. Okay, so see, this one was 8 to 10. This one's 7. So what we're gonna do is you're gonna put R, put a parentheses, and then put the number, and then comma. Like so R, and then you're gonna put back. R parentheses, put back. And that's gonna be 8-10. And then you're gonna put comma.
Well, I cut my nail.
Comma, and then you're gonna do the same thing for L. For the left side, and then you're going to put parentheses, and then you're going to put 7-8. Oh, put in, into this other stuff. So now I'm going to grab from the middle of her head, okay? Not necessarily from the top, I'm doing like the middle, crown area. So, smooth that out. My ruler, my head, you can do ruler. Here, right in the middle, here. So you're gonna put M parenthesis, and that's just the middle in the. What did you do? You submitted. Go just press back. You should be able to edit it. So we're gonna start with the information because I'm not trying to have this video run too long. Front area, we're going to do a very, very, very front. This is where the client tends to manipulate the most because it's the easiest pattern they have. This is usually the styling items that you see here, my band. This is usually where the quarterly happen suits. So this tends to be where the hand breaks the most as well, or the feels is the most damage. So what we're going to do is see what that's looking like at the very front. So took some of this hair out and put my hair back so we can see. Oh shit. That's not you. I'm sorry, my dear. That's it. I'm going to take it from the top and the sides. And do the same thing on the opposite side. So as you can see, took something down below here and some here at the top here, okay? Turn it just a little bit right here. And I can say that because when I pour and stretch the hair, what happens is that I can see them as I'm pulling it. I see where it stops at, and then it will tell me where it initially would be at with the curls in place, and then I stretch it a little bit more, and that would tell me what it would be if it were to be stretched out, straightened out, blown out. Okay? That's why it's always like a certain amount to a certain amount. It's never usually a specific amount of inches for us because our hair is extended. I'm just going to do the same thing on the opposite side. Stop measuring with my finger like a Haitian. Okay. Now, moving on. Hair type. So, she put 4C before. 4C is not a hair type, y'all. And if you rock with me, you know that I don't fuck with that term. But
I really put for fine, and I went back and corrected it.
Yeah.
But when I say fine, I mean like fine, not like.
This is why you do this with me. Okay.
No, not that my hair is fine. Like my hair is fine.
And again, this is why I say you have to do this with me because saying the word fine can actually throw somebody off. That's actually a term used for professionals when it comes to hair care. It's not just professional. It's the actual term that needs to be used in public and in the salon. Now, we've got your hair type. So that just means if your hair is straight, wavy, curly, coily, kinky, tight curls, that's what that means, okay? For you, you are more in the range of, you're definitely a curly girl, so that's, you're definitely in the curly world, okay? You're gonna put curly, and then you're gonna put dash, you're gonna put tight curl. Or you can just put tight curl. A tight curl, yeah. She has tight curls. Also, you can see how she has tight V-shape. Her hair can be extended and manipulated. Her hair is actually much softer than the average, but and because she constantly keeps it hydrated and moisturized when it's supposed to. She does not have any scalp conditions. She doesn't wear protective styles too often. So her hair is really healthy, which actually makes it very easy to style over time. But she doesn't have the tight curls. She would be in the tight curls. If someone has curls, if they have curls that's spiraled, then that would be considered a curly curl. If someone just has curls that were tight but not too tight, they would be considered a curly girl. You also have people with loose curls. It's different terms, okay? Her term would be tight curls. So now we've got hair texture. That just means if your hair is fine, medium, or in the old lamest terms, coarse. And I don't like to use that word. I like to use the word thick. So your hair is definitely in the, I want to say medium to thick realm, but with the high density that she has, I gotta put her thick. So she's got thick hair, okay? Her hair is just very soft because which can fool you because she takes care of her hair, right? But if your hair is thick, we would consider it thick or coarse. But we're not using that word. We're using the word thick. Now, hair density. Now that just means how much hair she has on her head per square inch compared to the next person, right? I don't have as much density as she does. Meaning I don't have as much hair strands on my head as she does. She has a whole lot of hair. She's considered high density. Now, let me give you a better image in your head. Think of when you're buying wigs or shopping for wigs online or anywhere really, and they'll usually say density, 100% density, 150% density, 200% density, and then you'll notice the picture of the wig, the hair gets fuller and fuller and fuller per density. So if it's 100% density, the 150% density is usually fuller than the 100% density. So that just means it has more hair strands on the head. That's all that means, which also means that you're gonna need a lot more product, or you're probably gonna need longer processing time for certain treatments or colors or chemical services. So that's what that means, and that's very important to know when you're going to somebody new or when you're having your own stuff, because now it lets you understand, okay, maybe I'm gonna need a lot more product when I'm doing a certain specific style because my hair has high density. And also you know that because you have higher density, you want to work in smaller sections when you're doing anything to it, whether that's blowing it out, detangling, whether that's styling. You want to start and work with small sections in order for you to have a successful turnout. Trust me, and especially if you're trying to fight with your hair. Okay, now moving on, we have, can we move up, young lady? Now the next one, we have hair porosity. So in order for me to know this, she does have a lot of product, and she did say she put castor oil on her hair, so I'm not gonna really know how porosity or how porous her hair is right now. What I would do in this consultation with another person, they would get directions with a book to come with clean hair, so that way I can do the porosity test on them. And I would take a spray bottle, and then I would spray the back of the hair so they don't walk out looking crazy. Spray the back down, squeeze, and then, you know, and I say squeeze because that's how hair is supposed to be. That's how you're supposed to put product in hair, whether that's water, a leave-in, or gel. You want to squeeze it into it, okay? Well, gel, you want to lacquer onto it, but everything else you want to squeeze into the hair, okay? Now, her hair, it has lots of product, but it's actually pretty porous. Okay, and that means low porosity or high porosity, right? Low porosity means that your hair cannot absorb water pretty well. High porosity means that your hair does absorb water pretty well. For her, I would say she has, because I've shampooed her hair plenty of times before too, so I would know. She doesn't necessarily have non-porous hair, which means she's not in the low porosity range, but she is in the medium porosity range. So we could put her as medium to high porosity, because in certain instances her hair absorbs water very well, in other instances it doesn't. But because her hair is actually taken care of all the time, she can absorb hair pretty well on the regular, which is why I say medium, meaning she doesn't have to stand under the shower for too long for her hair to really get wet, but she does need to take some time. I know me, my hair is freaking low as hell, okay, especially with these locks now. So I really have to lather my hair over and over and over again in order for that water to really truly penetrate, in order for the product to actually clean my hair when it comes to shampooing. Now, next, we have hair history, natural since 2009. You heard? Bing! That's dope. In the hair history section, this is the part where they tell me everything about themselves, what they've gone through, chemical services, how they've been hurt, if they've experienced any scalp conditions. This is what they would tell me in this hair history section. Now, the scalp condition, I do have my trichoscope. Do you want to take a look at your scalp in your trichoscope? Sure. Okay, so we're going to do that. Oh, the food, my food is ready. I should go get that. Okay, so this part is rolling. Alright, so this is, I'm gonna move back over. Okay, this back door. Tell me what I need to do. I can see it. Okay, these are old people with their back here, and we'll go to the sticky roll. Yeah. Okay. So we're gonna test that in. Turn the light on. Okay, so when it comes to the scalp conditioning section, I'm gonna use the scalp monitor to have me see what's going on in their hair and their scalp, so that way I can give them an understanding of what to use, what not to use, what to stay away from, if what they've been using at home has been helping or hurting them, all of that good stuff, okay? And this is the information they need to know in order for them to be able to take care of themselves, not only with you as a stylist, but also at home. Now, I'm gonna turn this light on. Cool. Do you have any spots in your head that's much more irritated than usual as far as your scalp?
The only spot I would say is
Gotcha.
going to, but I know.
No problem, my dear. Did you want me to wash it for you? Yes, I got you. We're gonna share the So, now what we're gonna do is take a look at your scalp first. What I like you to do is take a look into it. Ooh, I got a clip up in here, girl. Your hair's so big. Girl, I love it. So what I'm gonna do first is split her hair in half and take a look at her scalp. So what I'm looking for is redness, plaque, and I say plaque like flakes that are attached to the scalp, not flakes as in buildup, because there's a difference between flakes from buildup and flakes from having seborrheic dermatitis, dry scalp, or dandruff, okay, which are two different things. Dry scalp and dandruff are two different things, and that's another video. Okay, we are not going to even talk about that today. But her scalp looks very healthy. I don't see any redness. I don't notice any scarring. I don't see any inflammation. No redness. It's my favorite part. It's very light. The scalp wants to be lighter than the rest of the skin. That's usually how that indicates your scalp is clean and that you don't have any underlying issues. So I'm not gonna just check here. Now I know personally how healthy her hair is, so I'm not gonna go through all of it. But what I would typically do is I would start split down in the middle with my client, then I would split in 4 parts, check the scalp there, split it here, check the scalp throughout, and then I would ask them if they have any irritating areas. And that's why I sped past all that and asked her what I asked her. So she told me the middle is where the issue is, right? So I'm gonna start at the healthiest area, which is usually the back of the head, and then we're gonna take a look at what the scalp looks like there, and then we're gonna move on to the middle area and see if there's any differences, and then I can show her what the differences are if there are. Okay. Now we're gonna start. This is going to be put on her scalp, directly on the scalp. I don't know if they can see. Put your head up. Okay, they can't really see. I don't know if they can see. Sorry, my dear. Okay, so here. That. Let me take another one. Okay, what did I can see for sure is that her scalp is very loose. She has lots of oil on her scalp, and she did use oil, and your scalp already produces oil as well, so you guys want to be careful with that, because oil can actually cause the hair from producing hair. Clog the follicles from producing hair. But luckily for her, she cleanses her hair very often, okay? She's not like y'all. She likes to shampoo her hair, okay? So she usually gets all that out, so it doesn't cause any issues or it doesn't cause any buildup over time. Now, slight redness, but nothing to worry about. Do you have an itch? Itch? Okay, pulling. Okay, so you did mention pulling. Ah, okay. Yeah, and I tell people, like, you can do this like on your skin, and on a microscopic level you just damage your skin, okay? Like, it literally just takes that. Like, it don't take much to damage your skin. Now, so here, your scalp actually looks pretty healthy up here. That's not bad. Now, what I do see is clogging. I do see a little bit of clogging of the follicle. You're right. You're right. And when you start to see that, so like when you see how it's not, I hope you can see it. Hold on, let me try to. Let me grab this thing.
You might have to put a picture of it.
I need to put this on a TV, get an HDMI cord or something. That's what I need to do. Okay, so my clients can see it on a big screen like they have a dentist or something.
Oh, that's how my dentist is down the street.
Dental Vista lit. Now, as y'all can see here, there's a little bit of clogging, okay? Here, not so much, but there is, but not so much. But here is definitely clogged, okay? When you see that crust starting to form, that means it's starting to oil, or your sweat, or your buildup, or whatever is going to clog the follicle, and that starts to create irritation because the follicle is getting clogged. So you're itchy, and that's normal because you just means you need to wash your hair. Exactly. Now you panic when you see the. Now you can see the entire hair shaft has oil on it. You can see that. And you got thick hairs too, which is very, very good. All of your hair, you got very thick hairs. In this area, you can see slight fine hairs, but this is also the back area of your head. So this is where the most of the fine hairs will be. But overall, you have very thick hair, which is very good. Here, because it's not clogged all the way up on the hair. If it was clogged all the way up on the hair, you would have been really irritated. You would have probably started flaking by now, and you probably had redness and inflammation because you would have been itching all the time. And likely when it gets that bad, it's because they're not washing their hair or they're not washing it right. And that you're not in that lane. You just gotta wash your hair. That's it. So far she looks good. We're just gonna wash her hair and get her hair balanced and cleansed. She just needs a simple, basic balance and cleanse. These are my favorite clients. The one who take care of their hair at home, y'all. Praise God. Now let me close this thing. Did you get to take your pictures? Let me take one more. See your hairline as well. Let me get your hairline. Ooh, look at your hairline. It's greasy. Girl, I'm chill with that oil. No, I put it on for the... Put it on for what? To get your hair washed? Don't... Y'all, these pre-oil treatments, these pre-pools, these pre-oil, you don't need to do them. Y'all, they making y'all spend money for stuff y'all don't need. I'm telling you, there's always a new product. Y'all don't see that? They're always adding a new step. Y'all don't see that and y'all fall for it. Stop it. You don't need a pre-poo. You don't need a shampoo. Just wash your hair about 3 or 5 times on some realness, okay? And now she gonna give me 10 times the work because she just over put a whole bunch of oil on her head. And now I gotta really deep cleanse that. Girl, let me get you. Okay, so we're gonna check your hairline. I wanna see that. You know, okay, what's up? Okay, I see a little slight redness here. Just slight. Could be from pulling and traction.
Yeah, because I had a little black tangle. Yeah, tangle.
Like tangle from what?
Because I had been twisting.
Oh, it took a while. It took a while. Yes, like it's like it probably started locking.
And I didn't have patience. My hair locks fast.
Yeah, I know. I can tell your hair would be perfect for locking. Oh my god.
That's what my sister said. Why you need to do it?
Oh my god, girl. Your hair would be so awesome if you locked it. Don't even get me to thank you. Moving on to the next section, we're gonna put scalp condition, oily scalp.
Does this thing time out?
It shouldn't be because I've never had this issue before. In the meantime, as you fill out what you can, I'm going to run and put a break on this and come back and continue, okay? Back. We asked on the next question for the form, it says, how often do you wash, shampoo, and condition your hair? And you put every 23 weeks, which is very consistent for her type of hair. When you have higher density, it does take a little while before you need to wash your hair compared to someone with lower density. Someone with lower density attracts dirt much more quicker, and their hair gets weighed down much more faster. So that would cause them to have to wash their hair probably once to every 2 weeks. Her, on the other hand, she has higher density and curlier hair. She can do it every 2 to 3 weeks, and she does not have a scalp condition, so she can do that. Now, for those who do have a scalp condition, that is not an option. You would want to wash your hair every 7 to 10 days to address your scalp issue, okay? And then the more often you do that and your scalp issue has become balanced, because it can be balanced, it can be healed, it can be cured. I've been there, I've done that. It can be cured. Once it's balanced and cured, you can go move on to the average timing that it would be to shampoo and condition your hair. Now, moving on. Medical history. You don't have no medical history, so that means you don't have any medicine that you're taking right now, no supplements you're taking right now.
That is not, no.
Not in the past 6 months?
I'm not ready.
What does not really mean? You need to be very, very. Have you taken vitamin D? Have you taken any multivitamins? Have you taken any prescribed medication from your doctor for a certain small period of time?
No.
Have you experienced any over-counter medicine that you've been taking?
No, that's it.
That's just regular ibuprofen and things. Okay, so regular pain medication. And how often you don't take that too often, do you?
For migraine, it depends.
How often do you take it for your migraines?
It has been more, but it's past. I think I need to right now. I'm switching up the
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Okay, so not often. Products that should work best with your hair, right? I'm proud of you for putting honey in there. Because honey is actually one of the things I was going to recommend for her. Honey and milk is going to do for her because she has curly tight curls and because she also has high density. Her hair needs saturation and it needs thick, heavy products in order for it to give the hair the stretch and the elasticity it needs. So, and to also penetrate into the hair shaft because the hair is so curly, it has very tight curls, and it's stacked in the cuticle because it's thick, and it also has high density, meaning she's going to need that thick, heavy stuff. And you don't want to overpower it with crap or with plastic-based things. You can use the natural things like honey and milk. Now, when I say honey and milk, I'm not saying to go out to the store and go buy a jar of milk and a jar of honey and a bottle of milk and put it together and start whipping. No, that's not what I mean. I mean, you want to get products that are milk-based or honey-based in those realms that have very few ingredients that cater to your hair type. That's what I mean. Now, and you put honey and sleeping on a silk pillowcase. Do you have a real silk pillowcase?
Yes.
100% mulberry silk?
100%.
Okay. Listen, baby.
It's hot, so I had to go for the silk.
Listen, honey, when it comes to that stuff y'all see on Amazon, that's polyester, that's plastic. It contains PFAS, which have, certain things that can be carcinogenic, which means cause different type of cancers, issues with your hair, your hormones. It causes issues internally because we're always using them, and they also are cheap because those things we put on our head, being in contact with our skin, they're hella cheap. We're using them every day, and after like a couple months, you gotta buy another one on Amazon. When you can just go spend a certain amount on mulberry silk, 100% mulberry silk, and that silk pillowcase or satin cap, that silk cap will last you for almost a lifetime, literally. Almost a lifetime. So you spend that one time and it lasts you for the rest of your life, and that's your bonnet to go all day, every day. Just don't lose it. You know what I'm saying? So yes, do not think that the stuff that you're buying on Amazon is helping. It's kind of actually hurting you still. They're taking our money, man. I actually know someone personally who sells these things. Her name is Feykare on Instagram, Feykare. She actually sells these 100% mulberry silk satins, and I believe I know I have a discount code somewhere in there, and I put it on my website, so I'm going to try to have that link somewhere, and in case you want some bonnets, because her stuff gets sold out a lot. You want to take a look at that link, okay? Use that code that I got and get you one, okay? Forget Amazon. They ain't worried about hair care. Yeah. What else products? I would say brands that would work best on her hair would be Designer Essentials. I'm always going to recommend that when it comes to y'all type. Okay? It's the bomb. That honey moisture, have you had that honey to take on a shampoo? Oh my god. You need, okay, so I'm going to tell you products that would be great for your hair. Let me, hold on. So once a month you want to clarify your hair, okay? Since you put a lot of oil and you put a lot of all that thing on your head, you need to clarify it. So I'm going to recommend this for her to clarify her hair once a month, okay? Once a month. Take a picture. Now, I'm also going to give you this. You wash your hair twice with this, okay? Twice. Focus on your hair and scalp, alright? And then she can use this as a third shampoo. Y'all know me. I'm going to recommend 3, 4, 5 shampoos. 1 and 2 is just for fun. It don't do nothing. I'm telling you, the way our hair works, we need to drink that water, and it takes a lot to drink it. So, on the 3rd wash or 4th wash, in case you feel that fancy, this what you would use, the honey cream detailing shampoo. This one, I'm telling you, I use this on men, women, and children, okay? This works phenomenally for detangling your hair. So you'll be able to detangle your hair before you condition, so that way you're not worried about. Because what happens is while we're conditioning our hair, we're like detangling, right? And then we're combing and brushing and doing all of the things, and all that product is actually going on the floor. And then, yeah, we're wasting it. We're not really getting the chance to condition, and we're wasting it. We have like this big ass bottle, like this
so
one.
much already.
And I find myself having more shampoo, less shampoo than conditioner. That's the way it's supposed to be. Your hair can take the conditioner properly if your hair is actually fully cleansed. If it's light and cleansed, that conditioner is going to go right up in there and provide the moisture it needs. And if it's detangled, it'll be able to go right up in there. But because we haven't shampooed our hair enough, we rush the process, we're not patient. We're like, oh, okay, I'm going to force this conditioner into the hair, and then I'm going to sit and deep condition because that's what I'm supposed to do. No, the shampoo process is that process for you, especially if you're using the right shampoos that allow you to detangle, because there are some shampoos that don't, they just make your hair drier. I mean, they're meant to strip the natural oils, but they just make your hair hard at the same time. Both of these, this one too, this one's gonna make your hair super soft. You'll be able to detangle from the beginning, okay? But this is really gonna, it makes your hair soft. Your curl's gonna be so defined. Like, I'm telling you, I recommend it to everybody, and they always send me a text. They always send me a text. Thank you, what is this? And what is my favorite about this? You know, I've been using the same bottle for the entire year. On all my clients. Every single client gets some of this. And I still have this much left. And I have 2 more waiting to use, okay? And I have yet to touch them. That's how concentrated it is. You need a little bit. Dime size your whole head. Listen, honey, this funny shit right here. I'm telling you, you think I'm. Listen, send me a text later, okay? That's why I'm gonna wait on your text just to thank me later. So those are the 2 I would definitely recommend for you to have at home. Like I said, this you would use once a month, and that you can use as often as you like. But I prefer it to be always the last shampoo. If you're gonna incorporate it in anything, make sure it's always the last shampoo, because you want your hair to feel super soft and detangled after you use everything, and moisturized. So that's what it does to it. Moisturizes it after you fully cleanse it out and strip it out with the clarifying shampoo. But yeah, that'll be for you. And if you want to be fancy, you can do the peppermint and aloe too. That also makes your hair very soft as well. And it also gives you that tingly, cool sensation feeling in your scalp. So if you want like your hair to grow and stuff like that, I actually have these 2 at home. These are what I use at home all the time. Use this once a month, and I use these, I mix them together, because I just hate doing the 2 process thing. I just mix them together and I shampoo my hair 3-4 times. Oh, it's the best. So you can use them if you want to feel the tingling sensation, and it also is good for detangling. This is the one I just recommended her for the peppermint. It makes your scalp tingle, it helps with stimulation, and it also makes your hair super soft, super soft. So I just gave her some great products that she could use to help with detangle it, because honestly, with someone who has tight curls and lots of hair, being high density, they usually need aid in detangling their hair. That's usually the main issue they have. It's not necessarily styling or necessarily figuring out hair damage, depending on the client, of course. But it's mainly usually detangling, right? Detangling is what's going to help you address your scalp if you have a scalp issue. Detangling is going to help you speed up the processes when it comes to styling, which is one of the main issues for us too with this type of hair. So once I can get your detangling under control, baby, you're good to go. Now, do you have any leave-ins that you want to use?
I usually use something
That's great. I have a good base here I can recommend. I think Carol's daughter has a milky gold one too. That was really nice. I think that was $12. This one's like $25. But the Carol's daughter one is like $12, and that one's really nice. You can detangle your hair with that. Every time I finish shampooing and conditioning my hair, I spray that on my hair to detangle. And it's a heat protector. Heat protector, detangler, softener, everything. It's everything. It's the 25 miracle look. Literally everything. So I use that on all my clients after I shampoo them to detangle. And I get like 3 of these, and one of these I'll spray and have to dilute with more water, and it still does the magic. And that's for certain clients like me who have locks, who don't need that type of heavy leave-in, but still need some softener to help with the moisturization. So I'll spray the lighter one and throughout the hair and locks and sweeten it. It's the best. Just recommended this as a leave-in for her, the American Milk, because like I said, milk and honey is the way to go. what else? I think that's about it on the form.
Yeah, that one's better.
Okay.
I don't think that was it. It was a picture.
Okay, so I mean, at the end of the form, you have to upload a picture, and then you upload a picture of what her hair currently looks like, so I can have it in my file, and she can have it in her file, so she knows what she had before she met me, so she won't think, you know, things happen in between, so we got receipts of what the hair looked like before. All right, so that is it for the consultation, and let's move on to deep cleansing her hair. Products that I've actually mentioned earlier on you today. So,
I actually want to see the camera. I'm gonna move this to place.
Alright, y'all. Let's get to it. First, I'm gonna use lukewarm water to Alright, now I want to say lukewarm. I like to use warm. Using hot water is no bueno. So if you feel like the water's too hot, please say something, okay? It should be scorching sometimes. There we go. I have my steamer on, okay? Y'all seen it before. It cook. I like to start getting her hair wet as the steamer is working, so that by the time we get her hair fully wet, that steamer starts working and we can start working, which is start the shampoo process. Now, if you're like using one of these in the shampoo bowl, you'll notice that when you position it like this, meaning towards you, it's difficult for the water to fall over their face, okay? So having this position towards you as you're rinsing the hairline helps from getting water inside their eyes or all over their face. Also, another method when it comes to rinsing the hair, you want to make sure that you're squeezing that water into the hair. Remember, hair is a fabric, okay? So you want to saturate that water in there, saturate that soap in there like you would do a cloth, okay? Which is squeezing it in order for you to lift that dirt, right? Or that stain out. Always apply hair to cooking, laundry, or gardening, okay? If it doesn't make sense in cooking, gardening, or laundry, it probably wouldn't make sense doing it to your hair. It's just plain and simple. Yes, her hair is drinking that water very well. You see what I'm saying? Even with the oil buildup, did you see how well that water drinks? So that's why I say she has medium to high. I mean, medium to low porosity. Because her hair still drinks enough water well because she takes care of her hair. She hydrates it often, so it easily accepts water often. Even with the oil on top. She's a rare breed, y'all. And honestly, that's how it's supposed to be. Make sure that that water is touching the scalp. The scalp needs to be wet, hydrated. I like to lift up the hair in the middle and work in the middle as well because water be hiding and it'll sometimes not get through there. So the steamer is working now, meaning I can basically go ahead and start my first shampoo. Hair looks really wet. It looks really good for the first rinse. We're gonna use that oil protein henna clarifying. to get her hair very clean because we know she got some buildup and lots of oil. So like I showed y'all put it on your hands, y'all rub it together, and then all around, okay? All around before you start putting shampoo in. And you'll notice that doing that allows you to get more coverage with the product without having to overpower your hair with product. Look at how well her hair lathered in that first wash. Look at that. You can't get that with the first time. I didn't even put that much soap. Okay. Now I'm definitely gonna go in again for the middle area because she has, usually it's the middle area that's forgotten. It's the middle area that has the most hair, the most density. So this is the area that you're gonna need to have more water and more product and more massaging. This is where you also wanna put into smaller sections so you can actually get to the area. So first thing I'm going to focus on whenever I shampoo is making sure I get shampoo all throughout the hair. Then I'm going to split it in half like I just did. So we're going to split in half. And then I'm going to squeeze and elongate as I'm washing it, okay? So you never want to keep going in that circular motion because that tends to make the hair matte back up. You want to focus on elongating the hair. This also helps when you're about to do a silk rise or to do a wash and go because your hair can be best programmed during the shampoo, okay? When your hair is wet, think of reprogramming your hair. And when you're stretching it, it allows the cuticle to train itself to lay out and stretch out and be elongated. So I do it in small sections. I work it through the middle as well, so I'm going to show you now. And also, the same hand motion I was telling y'all before. Work with your palms, not your fingernails. So, I'm going to separate this section. Start elongating it. You see how long that hair extended now? Just because of how I'm extending it. I haven't even started scrubbing the scalp yet. And not necessarily scrubbing, but massaging the scalp yet. And her hair is already getting lots of stretch. So, as I'm doing that, I'm also detangling with my hands. I don't like to go in with a paddle brush just yet. There we go. Okay, so I feel like I've gotten really enough on this side. I'm not going to really do too much. I just want to make sure I'm getting as much product soaked into the hair as possible. So that way when I go in again the second time, it's much easier for me to get to the scalp. So the first time, usually the scalp I'm not able to get to because I'm too busy trying to separate the hair. But do you feel that? How that shampoo has, that first shampoo already, I'm able to go through the hair? And what you did before helped absolutely too, because she detangled the hair, hell out of her hair, y'all. So that helped too. With that shampoo, definitely have your hair feeling soft that first round. Okay, and as y'all can see, I'm pulling that hair out. I'm not pulling it away where it hurts, but like more like elongating the hair. That's the best way I can explain it. So now, let's move over to this side. So in the middle, let's get that in the middle. So now we got this half over here. Let's split that little. Yeah. Here, y'all can see I'm elongating it, and doing that with my palms is helping me get those tangled hairs out with ease, okay? When you do it that way, you're not fighting with the hair, you're not hurting the client. The tangles get they slide right out easily with no problem. There we go.
go.
Okay, where's that?
It's by the airport.
I might not.
It's in March next year.
I might not. Let's see what my calendar's saying. Do they have classes? Like, what's gonna? Because I'm over like the whole motivational speaking thing. Like, I need some real like substantial information that I can use to implement in my business.
Will be continuing the journey of our women expo and conference. I'm thinking about networking.
Yeah, see, for me, I can't network anymore, okay? I got way too many opportunities lined up. If I need one more person and try to collab, do one more thing.
But you can speak then.
No, girl, I need to get my stuff in order. That'd be dope. But if I can't get a class that can help me move faster and get my stuff together, I don't need to be chit-chatting with nobody right now. I don't need no more chit-chatting. I got classes to finish, girl.
Well, they just sent me a Zoom on.
That's dope. That's dope. You go. You need to network. You go. I'm okay right now. Right now, I need to sit down. I've been outside all year networking. Now I'm using the men to network for me. One helping with credit repair, another one got me the grant, another one does grants too. And help me put all this stuff together. So,
Oh, that's what I need to check.
I need to make that work.
I think I did. Let me see, but I don't know what it's like.
Business faculty? Oh, you should have checked that.
Yeah, I can't remember if I paid for it. I think I did, but I can't find it.
Check the email. Yeah.
They will be under
Tax receipt. There we go. Look at that. Hair beautiful, girl. Ooh. This is wash and go. Play with me. Okay, now her hair, as you can see, oh, it's beautifully entangled. We're gonna go ahead and rinse this out, and then we're gonna wash her hair again with the same shampoo. That's gonna be a second. That's the way it's supposed to be. Look at how beautifully defined her curls are. Oh, I don't think I can see what I see. I can't see what I see. This is glorious over here. So we start with warm water in the first wash and the second wash, and we end off the entire service when it comes to like the conditioning part, the end part, with the cool water. If you're doing locks, since I don't do condition locks or condition locks, I only use a light leave-in spray. I would finish off your last shampoo service by rinsing it off with cool water. So that's what I would do for those with locks and those with natural hair. I would rinse it off, end it off with cool water at the conditioning point. Look at how beautiful your hair, my goodness. You got me going crazy over here looking at this hair. Beautiful. And look at how defined those curls look. It's just one shampoo. You see, I like to go in the middle. And then get all that. Okay, so let's go ahead and shampoo again. Under part. Alright. Hair coming down here. Ready? Sit. Let's go. So we're gonna do this one more time. Yeah. They don't usually send you directions. Do you see your information up, like as a business? Because if your information is in there, then you could. Because it's not much you're supposed to do. You pay for it, and that's it. They'll tell you what they went through, and if it did it, they'll tell you why it did it and what you can do to fix it.
You do the black certification yet?
The what?
The black certification.
Like women in business certification?
Yeah.
No, I have not. I want to take it, but it's like also that's setting my business up for like procurement, right? That's setting my business up for subcontracting or contracting within the state of Florida, within our municipality. But it's also like the way they do these contracts where you have to work first and then they later give you the money. And usually the money doesn't disperse till like 6 months to a year later. It's like, why am I working for y'all?
Not that, like the ones that you gotta, like basically that you are a person of color, like a certificate.
Yeah, certification, absolutely. That's how you get grants.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Absolutely.
Did it?
I think I did.
That's what I was trying to do, like find out how to do it. It's like a runaround. It's kind of.
It is a runaround. It is a runaround. But did you know the chamber can help you with that? They can certify you.
Okay.
So not call them, but when they have an activity, tell them you want technical assistance. They'll send you a link. You'll set up a meeting and you'll tell them that's what you want. And they'll help you with that. It's super simple. Whatever you want, they will give it to you. I'm telling you, just set up a meeting, bro. They will give you what you want. Now I can focus on the scalp, as y'all can see. See, it's still already breaking my nose. Yeah, but I ain't trying to do no procurement. Not no time soon. Making sure as I do all that scrubbing on the scalp, or massaging, so to say, on the scalp, I make sure I'm not tangling the hair all over again. Still elongating and stretching as I do that. Hair. You see how much it has stretched out now? And I'm still shampooing. There's no conditioner happening here. And I'm telling you, I could achieve the same without this steamer, okay? And whenever I have foam, I'll put it right back on there. Try not to waste it. And give them a scalp massage. Scalp massaging does have a lot of benefits though. I think in one of my videos I go over that. Well, a lot of my videos I go over that, but in case you didn't know, scalp massaging helps with increasing blood flow. Our hair is connected to follicles, and our follicles are connected to nerves. Our nerves is where the blood runs through. So when you're massaging the skin, it helps that blood travel to the nerves to do the job that it's meant to do, which is travel to the follicle, feed the follicle to produce hair. So no itching. Itching causes scarring. Massaging not only reduces the itch, calms the itch down, soothes you, reduces stress, which is also an issue when it comes to hair loss. Massaging helps stimulate blood flow. Okay, so now we can go ahead and rinse this baby out. Right. And also, you can use this opportunity as a way to get all those tangles out. Don't be afraid to do that. You do not have to wait till you condition for you to start descending. You see? All these little babies, you can get them all out. And this is very good amount of shedding for someone, you know, who is shedding, right? Like I said, clumps, that's where you are. Now, I'm gonna go in and rinse her out. And then we're gonna use the third shampoo, which is the honey detangling shampoo. I know you're lying. I'm dead. Tonight, hey, look it up. It's a wrap. I can't. This song brings so much memories.
Yeah. Every time I hear him,
oh god! This song is definitely vibes.
And then on the what's that show called? The one with Simon,
American Idol.
So, because the black dude that was doing that thing, he's on there now. So one of the people that was like acting was actually dancing to the song. It was funny because he was on the stage. So
YouTube gonna be talking about some copyright. When I tell you the amount of copyright issues, I can't monetize nothing. I'm gonna use this bad boy next. And I don't need much. Let's turn this off. Steamer is done, which is perfect because I can use this moisturizing treatment. I don't need the steamer for that because that is going to do the job that I need. See, just a little bit, y'all. I'm telling you, watch me work. Just a little bit. Spread it out over your hands and pat it around. Y'all know how it goes. Pat it around. Split it open. Pat it in the middle. Pat it in the middle. Get it in there before you start. And then you can smear it all around. And you see how you get great coverage when you're squeezing it into the hair too. Yes. We've been fighting with this hair this whole time, y'all. And we have to. Look at that. Look at that. Yo, do you feel that? I don't think you feel that for me. Do you feel it? Can you feel that? Look at that. Look at them curls. Look at this.
get y'all like that stylist to understand your hair.
Please do. How this feels. I ain't gotta do nothing. So now I'm gonna use my favorite handy dandy scalp brush. If you go to my Amazon storefront, you should be able to see that in my store list. But where are you, my handy dandy? It should be around here somewhere. Hold on. Okay. Where's my thingy? There you are. My special handy dandy style brush. Now, when it comes to this thing, you want to start on the end, okay? It is a brush, it is a comb, so you still want to use the same principles. Earn your right to the root. which is you start detangling from the bottom and work your way up to the top. See that? Do you see that? And then when you are consistent with that, you'll be able to retrace that and then run it on the scalp. The clients love that feeling. Okay, let's make sure we're not getting hair tangled. Keep that hair stretched out. Because this also detangles the hair for you as well. So not only is he brushing the scalp, detangling the hair. Let me show you. Let me show you what the color.
Oh, okay, yeah. So how do you feel about those when they have like, sometimes I might have a straight hair that has like a straight line in the center of the hair. But if I feel like when I do this, that is going to pop.
I'm just gonna pop the garnet. You're gonna have pop this manipulation, if you detangle your hair, some braids, if you get silk press, like it's gonna pop. You know what I'm saying? So it's helping detangle the hair. If it ain't supposed to be there, it's gonna be there. But yeah, I love it. I only love this one in particular, but the other one that you saw is really good.
So that's not the same though, like when that first came out.
Tamer or something like
Yeah.
that. I think that one is the best one. That's the original one. And that's everybody else that's making these plastic ones, like the ones you saw on Amazon. Those are no bueno. This one is basically the same thing. It's called the Tamer as well.
Well, what about when I put the red and the white first?
The thin brush, I don't know how to use that. I hate that thing. But that's because I don't know how to use it. Like if I actually took the time to like try to learn and figure it out, I'll probably understand. But I haven't found the necessity to do that because I use the scalp brush. I even use the scalp brush for wash and go. Like I'll do wash and go. So like when I'm setting the hair,
wash and go.
When I'm setting the hair with gel and mousse, I use this like this. I put some juice and stuff in the hair, and then I tell you, it makes the curls sit pretty. It makes the curls sit pretty. So what I'm doing is I'm using that to elongate, detangle, and I'm twisting it. Not too tight to the twist. I just want to twist to it in here so I can get out the way. Okay? We'll save the hair for the condition process. Okay, and as you can see, I'm not fighting with the hair. We're squeezing it and elongating it. Squeezing and elongating. Squeezing the product into the hair and elongating it. Whenever I feel a knot, I use my palms, my forefingers to separate, not my nails. And if you ever feel a knot, you want to stop at that knot, work it through it, and then keep on moving once you're done. Yes. Look at how much longer your hair is. Oh, yes. Twist this away as well. Nothing twisty. And mind you, I'm shampooing her hair right now, okay? We ain't even conditioning yet. So you see all this? Alright. Squeeze that product in there. If you ever feel like there's not enough product, you want to start with water first, like adding a little bit of water, and then continue to work the product in, because usually that's what it is. Your hair is getting evaporated, and there's not much moisture left, so the product is starting to harden, and it's not able to glide through as well as it could if there is moisture present. So that's where you reinforce it with more water rather than using more product. Because honestly, you're wasting product, and the product's still not going to be able to do the job that you want it to do. A lot of the time, we are wasting money and falling for the hype for things we don't need, adding an extra stress step we don't need. It's just bring it back to the basics, y'all. Bring it back to the basics. So let me make sure I go to using like that. Squeeze and elongate. Squeeze and elongate. Make sure you're focusing on squeezing the product into the hair, like cloth. There you go. stretched out. Okay, you don't want to let it shrink back up and undo all that work you did when you detangled. And I mean that for your wet state and for the dry state. Whenever you are combing out or brushing out, you want to hold that hair as you're holding it out so it can stay elongated. When you don't, that hair will shrink back, and then you're gonna have to re-detangle all over again and possibly hurt yourself, hurt the client. It's a whole thing. Finger detangle as much as you possibly can before you use that brush, because that brush will catch them knots and it will hurt.
They tell me that I'm never gonna make it. They want me to do something that could make sense. They hate when I keep dreaming I'll be famous, but I don't give a fuck, I'ma keep chasing. I got all this potential that's deep inside of me, but they hate when you're successful cause they try to be. They sit there being judgmental because you're trying things, and they just want you to settle and do the right thing. So get a good job, don't slack off. Wake up every morning, make a good impression on your boss. Don't do anything that I wouldn't do, and when you're making money, make sure you don't spend it too soon. Fuck that, I'll do what I wanna do. I got a different path from everyone, and that includes you. Who are you to tell me how to live life? In these times it feels like nobody's right, yeah. So I'ma figure out what else we succeed, and then invest all of my time into that and proceed. I need whatever the hell could make me happy, and I don't think you have a clue what could that be. They tell me that I'm never gonna make it.
It will untangle for you, no problem, if you are holding it to the right way.
When I keep dreaming I'll be famous, but I don't give a fuck, I'ma keep chasing. They tell me that I'm never gonna make it. They want me to.
A lot of the time you can't see it, you know, like a stylist can when you start using your head. So always focus on what you feel. If you feel something stopping you, then you should probably stop, okay?
They think that I am a rebel. I think they want me to settle. There's nobody on my level. They think that work is too stressful. I think that work is essential. The grind is all in your mental. And I don't think you understand what I'll go through just to be in control of my life soon. All the negativity, man, I'm immune. I don't really need a mask with all I've been through. I've been making changes for the ages. 5-10-year plans are contagious.
Okay, now that we have finished detangling with the honey detangling shampoo, we're going to rinse her out and deep condition her for about 10 minutes. You do not necessarily need to deep condition for no more than 10 to 15 minutes, okay? Anything over that is unnecessary. Please do not go to sleep with conditioner in your hair. That can actually cause a scalp condition and make a fucked up environment, like for mold and bacteria to like grow, because it's wet and humid and there's a lot of cream. You don't want to play with that, y'all. Okay? Just follow the instructions on the bottle, okay, when you get it, okay? And just do what the bottle says. There's no need to try to read it. It's okay. That's why they're the professional and you're at home. Okay? Okay. Yes, look at that. And just leaving them in that those twists, if you could see this side, you could see how this could have been a perfect washable situation. Look at that. Look at that. And I didn't even do nothing. Ooh, this is wonderful. Yep, got her hair nice and stretched and clean. That moisturizing, detangling shampoo did its thing. Now she does have, every time I, try to, I noticed there's a few times when I'm like rebonding the hair, my hand stops a little bit because of a little knot. We call those fairy knots, but that's also due to because she does have a trim that she needs to do, and she hasn't done in a while. So once we get that situated, that should decrease the fairy knots a whole lot. Okay, but that's also due to frizz. And certain products we use can actually create more frizz and styles. But that's another conversation for another day, y'all. Now, let's see. Let me know if this is too much. Lay back. When I get into the middle of your hair, because y'all already know Sophie hiding over there. If you see me doing this, it's because I'm checking the temperature. I'm still like, this should be hot sometimes. You feel good? You okay? Mm-hmm. Okay. Thank you. Now when it comes to shampooing and conditioning, you always want to make sure you rinse out that shampoo as good as possible, okay? You do not want to add conditioner in the hair where the shampoo present, which I'm sure you have done. And if you're wondering why your hair still feels dry or it's not feeling as soft as it could after conditioning, it's likely because you probably have leftover remnants of shampoo. And you'll know if you don't have no shampoo left when you look at the water, the water at the drain. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. Once that foam, those suds completely disappear, you'll know, okay, my hair is fully rinsed. If it's still there, you still have a lot more rinsing to do. Our hair absorbs and traps things in the hair, especially for curlier hair types with higher densities. We tend to trap things in our hair, so we really got to make sure we rinse it all out. And in this process, I like to squeeze at the same time, and then I like to analyze. Sometimes you'll see foam sitting like in the middle of the hair somewhere, right? Like here, I can go in, use a little bit of water, and rinse that out if I see anything. And then I also rinse this part so that way I can make sure most of the hair is fully rinsed out. Always squeeze and elongate. Squeeze and elongate. Squeezing is what's going to help get that soap out. Think of your hair as a sponge, and you're using a sponge, that's what happens. So get that soap out of that sponge, you have to squeeze it out, rinse it, squeeze it out, rinse it, squeeze it out. Same applies to hair. The hair is a sponge. Okay. beautiful. Go ahead, you can. And y'all can see how this part is longer than this part because water tends to travel to the back and the water stays here. It holds more here. Here is where the water will evaporate the most and the quickest. So you tend to have like a poofy neck at the top, and your hair will have much more defined curls on the bottom because the water lives there longer. That's the only reason why you'll notice that in your hairstyle. A way to help with that is to constantly have water on hand to spray the top of your head to help with water absorption and reducing the evaporation, and also a sort of like a gel or water, or oil that can weigh the hair down but also lock in moisture. Oh, and I don't think I mentioned that honey shampoo. I'm going to use the vitamin restore real quick. This is what I'm going to use next, the vitamin restore. I did that into. Let's do first is to put this to the perfume now. Let it process for 15 minutes. I'm going to dry it. So with the vitamin restore, guys, basically helps with your hair. So if you have like freeze issues, hair that feels brittle, dry, it will help repair. That's what it's great for. So not saying her hair needs much repairing, but she does have frizz that could be helped by using vitamin restore. Look at my shampoo bottle to help in the store. The pattern so that way y'all know how to do it. Where to get the products y'all need to do what y'all want to do. So for her, super simple. We just rub this on in, massage it through the hair, squeeze it through. Squeezing longer. Make sure the middle of the hair is not forgotten. So what I'm going to do for this treatment, the process, it says sitting under the dryer is optional, so it's up to you if you'd want to do that. but what I will do is put a shower cap on her head. Do you want me to put you under the dryer or are you okay? Tina? Want me to put you under the dryer or you okay? We'll do fine with the humidity and the shower cap. We won't need it. Dryer. That's gonna open the soil in this vehicle anyway. I don't want that. Okay, so hold this down in the front. See, the shower cap can take all this hair in. It's okay, my love. Don't you apologize for this beautiful hair.
No, I'm not going here. I'm just lady.
Oh, okay.
You asked me that question.
Oh, my bad.
I responded after I thought I did.
That's okay. I can tell. It's okay. You know, I do. Okay, and if you want to get up stretch, you can do that. But we're gonna let this process for a good 10 to 15. Let me make it 10. I just massaged it in for about 5 anyway. I'll be back.
You have to go into the top to see it. It's not like
Out visible yet. Got you. This water gonna be a little cool, okay? Don't kill me. I love you.
No, I know.
I don't need to condition her hair because the Restore is divided. It's gonna put the vitamins that she needs to make it plump and curly, as y'all can see. She don't even need it. See that? Her hair is beautiful. It's a really cool her. I love you. Now the water ain't gotta be cool, okay? It's lukewarm to cool. Don't be giving them cold water because cold water is actually gonna make the hair hard. And you don't want that. So when we say cool, we mean cool. We mean lukewarm to cool. And also that also helps minimize, shrink the pores that were expanded because of the hot water that was previously applied on the scalp and the hair. It also lays down, helps the cuticle lay flat because I don't know if you knew, but temperatures in water actually affect the pH level of the water as well, which also affects the pH level of our hair, which also affects what our hair is doing. So you'd be surprised when I tell y'all water is, when the hair is wet, this is a great time to program the hair. That is what I mean, okay? Look, I gotta rinse it out too much. And then once I'm done rinsing her out, what I'm going to use is, you want to split her hair for sure. I want to split her hair just to make sure that water is going through the middle of the head, because this is where shampoo will hide sometimes if I don't open up that section and give it just as much attention as the rest of the head. But when I'm done, I'm going to use my Mizani milk leave-in spray. And it's gonna make her hair very soft. Look at those curls, man. Oh, this is beautiful. And then that shedding definitely stopped. Yep. No more shedding. Perfect. And I can run my fingers through the hair much easier. Yep. And then when I do that trim, you're good to go. Yep. Damn, the hair feels good. What I like about it is it doesn't feel cakey with conditioner. It feels soft and light. That's how we like our hair, soft and light, y'all. Okay. Ooh, 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 ooh. Yes. This is hair porn. It's giving me hair porn. Okay, friend. What I'm gonna do now is when I'm at the end, I like to squeeze as much water as I possibly can out. If I'm doing a wash and go, I wouldn't necessarily do that, but since we're blowing her out and getting her a trim, that's what I want to do. So I'm going to squeeze as much as I can. If I can't do this to your head, and I don't care how short your hair is, if I can't do this to your hair after I shampoo, I did not do a good job, okay? And trust me, I've had people with low boys, and I'm able to use both my hands to pull out a ponytail after I'm done washing. Yeah, because the water elongates the hair, and if you properly saturate it, you'll notice that thing got stretched. And that means you got good hair. There you go. we're just going to use that to pat. You always want to squeeze, pat, okay? You never want to strip with the towel because that's going to break the hair as well. And that's why in the salon we use microfiber towels, microfiber towels, because they absorb water without stripping the hair or causing friction on the hair, which induces the breakage. You see that? Nice and dry. You can get up if you want, and I'm gonna put this towel around her neck when we sit down. Okay, so first things first, let's put you back the way you were. When you're driving, you pull on this side more than
because I'm driving like this.
I see now. Okay, so I did all of this.
When I call it hands and head syndrome.
I did all that when I'm gonna have to blow your hair out. No, it's not that. It's that. Because the blow dry is over there, and this is the closest I can get to your head with the blow dry being plugged in, and I cannot plug it into a surge. Also, I'm glad I'm mentioning this. If you have a blow dryer, never plug it into an extension cord. I don't care what the power surge say. Never do that. You want to put it into a wall because it will blow your surge out. It will blow your house out, your salon, whatever. So it has to be in a wall. That's why I'm like, damn, I'm not turning around anyway. So it's okay.
Oh, we did.
So let me slide this over here. So here. There we go. That kind of sucks. It does. It kind of limits me, but that's me because like I put the chair here, so it limits me to be close over there. If the chair was close over here, I'd be able to use that wall. So it's not like it limits me. It's just that where the chair is right now. Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna just make sure to focus on the hair. Boom. Done. Now, as far as you say you want me to just blow it out to stretch and then trim.
Yes.
We're gonna do the trim in the mirror, so you're not worried about that. But as far as like it's in the mirror, you know, you can make sure we get like the right length that we want. So I'm gonna split her hair in half, and then I'm gonna spray her hair again with water before I put in the milk leave-in by Mazana. And like you see, when I use my fingers, you see how easy that just this thing was for me. When I use these fingers. Always work start from the bottom. You never want to detangle at the root because that's gonna not only pop and cause more likeliness to pop hair and rip hair out and actually cause balding because you never know, that hair may not grow back out. That also reduces the pain that they feel and all that good stuff. You ain't gonna break no combs or no brushes, okay? Simple. There you go. And whenever you feel something stopping you, take your time and you separate. See that? Piece of cake. Not crazy. I can define that. Okay. I'm gonna spray some water on her head. Things will be everywhere. This is what you need. This is why I need my assistant. Okay, wait. In the state of Florida, you do not need a license to shampoo hair. So, if you're a shampoo, if you are a if you're good at shampoos and want to make some money, come my way. Okay. So I'm going to spray more water here up top because, you know, this is where her hair evaporates the fastest. I don't necessarily need to spray in the back because the water is still dripping from back there. And then, yeah, I always hold there. Think of your head as a tree. You know, the sun is going to evaporate the top leaves first, and the bottom leaves are going to be the last ones to keep dripping for the rest of the day. I believe it. A lot of the time for those people who have low porosity, meaning they cannot hold water, they cannot absorb water as fast as, you know, the average person, they tend to also lock in moisture as well, just as long. It's hard for them to dry their hair pretty fast. And that is the opposite for those who have fine hair. So those who have fine hair who have low porosity, their hair gets wet fast, but it also dries even faster. So, but for you, that's a good thing. Preserving moisture helps with the longevity of your hair, the health of your hair, and product absorption, especially when it comes to styling. Okay. Now, as y'all can see, I'm squeezing it in, and I'm spraying it on there. First things first, I'm spray this all over the head. Now this is considered a heat protectant, a detangler, a moisturizer, all of the things. I want you to spray your hair. And always squeeze that product to be on your hair. Ready? I don't need it. I just want to make sure that that's top saturated, but it's already no people in that. So. Separate these and work on one side. Ball those ends up. You're going to want those ends to dry. I'll be doing that in a moment, but as of now, I'm going to tuck her away so I can work on the other side. Anything needs to still be to dry. Show the detangling part. Probably 4 to 8 sections. Usually when someone has high density hair, I'm going to separate their hair into 6 to 8 sections, always. Because the 4 sections, maybe it works, but you're not really detangling in the middle of the head. And this is the part that usually is most forgotten and a lot of TLC. It honestly ruins the style most of the time, okay? So, I'm going to adjust that on its own. Because if you have any hair stuck in the other sections in here, it's going to find something. So now, after I spray it, sometimes I have to go in with. I'm almost done. I need to order some more. I ordered some shampoo. I ain't seen it yet. Hold up. We gonna get to that. But this is what I like to use. I'm gonna have to order that like right after this appointment. I'm gonna spray a little bit, put a little bit on my client's section here. Now what this does is this is also a heat protectant considering. This is also considered a heat protectant. I feel like you don't need heat protectants that are oil-based or serum-based. The one thing I noticed about this is that the amount of frizz that is reduced after I use it is amazing. And it does not cause a high smoke point, meaning I don't see any smoke in the air when I'm using it. So far it's an A+ for me. And I've used it on several clients and the hair is so much more softer and straight after I use it. So I would definitely compare them to the I know this is probably some of y'all gonna get mad, I don't know, you product fanatics, but I would compare it to Palmito Skinny Serum. It's really that good. So now that I've finished brushing that out, I'm going to roll it. Okay, when I roll it like that, it prevents it from having ends that aren't wrapped inside to stay moisturized. See, that do the same thing for this one. A little bit of that good stuff on there. Don't need much, a little bit goes a long way. Saturate it in the ends. And use my fingers to smooth out first before I go in with that brush. And the ends is usually going to be the part that gives me the most work. So start on the ends, and as y'all can see, I'm brushing up against the side of this brush, okay? I'm not just brushing just a brush. I'm taking that hair and making sure it glides up against that. Now I may switch brushes because she does have a lot of hair and I may need a bigger brush for her. And the higher up we work, the more thicker the hair gets, especially in the middle. Some more water. We'll pour some more of this for slippage. Don't be afraid to add more water as well while you're doing this part, because hair is evaporated while you're brushing it out. The rest of the hair is evaporated. Switch over to the bigger one. As long as it's a vented brush, meaning it has those little holes or lines in the middle, we'll be good to go. There we go. I'm gonna brush and make sure you're holding that hair. You don't want it to go back, so you have to keep retaining. See how I hold it every time I finish brushing it out? Yeah. See what will happen if I let it go? When it comes to blow drying hair, the wetter, the better, okay? Wrapping that in there. Now I'm wrapping it in these knots so that way I can preserve the moisture in there, because like I said, when it's time to blow dry that thing, I want her to be wet and fully detangled so I can easily go in with that blow dryer. Now for her, I'm not going to necessarily go too much in with the blow dryer because she doesn't want to be straightened. She just wants to be dried and stretched. So I'm going to use a different technique that won't require me to do too much. But I still want the hair to be wet and detangled. See, I split that into two sections. You know what I'm saying? Don't be scared to split these sections into half again and again. So baby, if you don't, you will break hair and you will be fighting with hair. And you will honestly spend more time than you need to. This helps me get this done in less time. You see how I'm stretching and squeezing while I'm putting that product in? Oh, I'm gonna get my stool because you talk.
And mom,
All of that. On the chair. Chair, you had me working overtime. And I'm just repeat the same process on the opposite side. And then y'all gonna see me blow dry. Let me go ahead and just spray her hair with more water before I go in and start blow drying. So there's a specific way that I blow dry. Alright. You got the comb attachment, blow dryer. You see how it was wrapped up before in moisture? Yes. The hair is nice and wet and it's already extended. You want to keep it extended, okay? Let's see if I need to. Now what I'm going to do is focus on laying the cuticle down. So that's why I'm squeezing and laying it down like that. Y'all can already see the difference, right? And then turn this thing on, put it on high. We're gonna actually blow her out, okay? We're gonna really blow her out all the way so that way we can do a cute little trim and call it a day. So, let me actually show y'all what I'm gonna do before I do it. I'm gonna blow dry the roots first and focus on blow drying all around the four sides and then work my way down. Okay, and as I'm doing that, I'm going to be pulling and laying the hair down, okay, as I do that, okay? I'm going to start with blowing it out on the top around, and then once I finish getting as much of these areas as dry as possible, I'll take the comb and I'll put it into the ends, okay, so that I can continue to dry it out as well, so that now the entire hair is getting fully dry. You'll see in real time. You don't want to be too close to the scalp. This stuff gets hot. And you want to be intentional too. Make sure you're blowing on the areas to get them dry as fast as possible, because once that area dries and that water is no longer there, they start to feel the heat more than usual, okay? So make sure you cook with it. So I'm pulling. This will help you to lay the cuticle back down and straighten it. Okay, the direction of the hair is where the heat will make it fall. You know what I mean? So if you're pulling it straight, the heat will make it straight. If you're not pulling it, the heat will dry it like that, where it's jumbled up and it's not straight enough. All sides. Keep pulling. You see how getting to the ends of the hair and it's straightening out now. Yeah. So now I can go ahead and put it in here and then continue that same process. Give you a mirror so you can see it. For you. I want you to feel your hair. Tell me what you feel. Describe it in words. Describe it in several words if you can.
Warm, soft, long.
And it looks lighter. Yes. She said the key words, y'all. Soft and light. Bingo. Once you get your hair to feel like that, baby, anything is possible. Okay? We pile on so much greases and oils and conditioners and leave-ins and things, and we don't need much. I didn't even need to put that oil subtle serum in. I just knew that I wanted that frizz to like stay down longer, so that oil would help weigh it down, and we have high density, so it wouldn't hurt. All right. She likes it, y'all. I'm gonna do one more section for y'all, and then I'm gonna just speed track it. What they call it, time lapse? Yeah, that thing. Always, now, another thing, when you blow out hair, if you're doing a silk press, you don't want to put this on the hair because it's gonna actually leave a mark, okay? It's gonna literally leave a mark. So I'm gonna leave it right here, and I'm gonna show you how it leaves a mark in a moment. Look at that. Already started leaving a mark. So, for me, it doesn't matter because I'm just cutting her hair, right? We're not doing no silk press. But if you were to do a silk press, you wouldn't want to do that because that's going to cause a line. Or if you're doing a blowout, that's supposed to be a sleep blowout where you're just wearing the blowout on its own. You don't want to do that. Try to stay away from using things. Alright, so now we got this section. Like I said, she's already fully detangled. Let me wet her up. I want her to be as wet as possible. The more wet she is before applying heat, the less likely her hair will break. Water gives more elasticity to the hair. Okay, now let me get my special dandy blow dryer. When it comes to blow drying, you don't have to move too fast, okay? Let that heat do its job. You don't have to work too hard. The heat does the work for you. Kind of like hair gel. You don't have to work too hard. Knowing how to position it will do the rest. It will do the rest of the work for you. See, I'm holding it every time before I put that comfy. Take this clip out, and I can, but y'all see that? Y'all see that line? Yep. Bingo! Damn, your head looks amazing. And feels so puffy too. We're gonna cut off just a smidge. You'll see that after this clip when I'm done with the whole entire head. Shake you just did. I don't want to see that. Do it again. Do it again, friend. You was feeling yourself. Don't do me like that. Period. You should see. And your hair is awesome, girl. You see this man? Wow. And it's longer than this. I know.
It is longer than this.
I know it's longer than this.
Wow.
I ain't trying to blow dry too much, girl. Like it's. I'm in love. I'm excited for this. Let's get this other side done. take you with me. Trust. I need to laugh at
Yeah, I was trying to see, because if I move up north, I was thinking like to do it from my house, but I don't want to do it from my house.
No, never do that. Never. No.
And then I want to do things the right way, you know what I mean?
Might as well, no. Alrighty.
So I have to move the studio elements.
So what you
Lauderdale.
Okay, so I'm about to sell that. I'm thinking about doing that too.
Move it to the Fort Lauderdale.
I need to see it first, because maybe if them walls are just as thin, I don't want it.
I wonder if they have open things. I'm gonna ask her.
What you mean open things?
Like
Open
ceiling.
vacancy? Yeah, please ask her. Are the walls just as thin? Because maybe that's really not open ceiling. I need more space, and I need to be able to record and do what I need to do without. I'm always get copyrighted because the music or these people are
I
doing
got
some
copyrighted
crazy
one
shit.
time too.
Once? Girl, I get copyrighted every time. Like,
And I had to tell ID, can I take this one?
yes. There we go. Now, hey. Hey girl, who's the pretty girl? Yeah.
You sound like my mama talking to Yaya.
Right, it's like a damn baby girl. So it's a damn dog. I'm sorry. Oh, look how beautiful your creams are.
I ain't gonna complain because some people got more than me.
Thank you. Okay, that's what I'm saying. Yours are sparse. They're not like growing here. And
They just started to
grow
do
like
this.
here. Right here, you see this part? That's where all the grades be at.
No, I got one here and one here.
See, be grateful. Oh
I
my
am.
God, you look
And
so
this
adorable
one.
with your blowout. If you lived in a dry climate, blowouts would stay longer. But since you live in a humid climate, that should be ready to
That's
shrink
why
right
it
back
did
up.
good in Cali.
Dry climate doesn't have that much moisture in the air, so it's not going to make your hair revert.
It did real good last year.
So now, the trim we're going to do. Did you have an amount in mind, or are you going to let me choose and show you how much I'm planning to take?
You just show me.
Okay, then. Oh, look how beautiful it lies. Y'all need to see, y'all need to see. You know, she got itches, okay? You gotta tell your toes. Okay. Now, since I know you want to preserve as much length as possible, I'm gonna cut at like a, not necessarily a 0 degree, but like probably a 0 to 25 degree angle. Okay, when it comes to cutting, you want to have your scissors positioned like this in your hand, okay? Ring finger. It takes a while to learn, but once you practice, you get it. Now, I'll start on this side first. So now here, I'm gonna go over this cool.
I know how to do it.
I love you, I love you. Look at that. See? Don't you act like you've been like you been like cry. You better not cry. Use this as a tool.
Because I dusted in myself. But I don't. Like you were allowed to do it from me.
Okay, there it is. Nice. Get it. Okay, see here? It's a little bit here. See? Not much. Let's pick up this thing. Yeah, I'm sorry. Alarm, stay going off. Can't wait for this kid to drive himself. Does Nina drive yet?
Girl, Miami's still there. She don't want to drive.
Shit. I hope I don't have it to my son. Like, swear to God.
It's kind of good, but it's kind of bad. Like, I want her to learn. I still think she should learn to get her license, but if she don't want to drive, she don't need
She
to.
don't want, that's right.
But like, her school's down the street, grocery shopping, they can walk everywhere and take the lift.
Okay,
Lift is like $10. It's stupid.
$10?
I'm saying like from her school to the thing, just about, maybe it's less. I gotta check.
If it's across the street, they be really shining lately. I'm telling you, Uber and Lyft, friend. Okay, sit up straight, put your back on the chair. Okay, that's why. Sit up.
There you go. Thinking, because I was like, I knew I wasn't straight. It's like, it's over there.
So I'm gonna show y'all how I'm cutting her hair in a moment. Just wanna make sure I get this side done. Oh, we out, y'all. Cut that. Yep, I cut that part out. Good. Okay, so I know this side is short. I'm gonna do my best to be careful on this end. I won't take as much off the back here because I want that side to catch up, like you said. So how I cut her was I split down here first, and like I mentioned, I'm going to cut at a 0 degree to 25 degree angle, meaning I'm going to keep it low. I'm not going to want to have it elevated. If I cut it elevated, it's going to cut more hair off. So I'm going to keep it as low as possible because we want to preserve length. We also know that this side is shorter than this side, okay? So I'm not going to cut as much hair here as I did on that side, okay? And we're trimming, so we ain't going crazy. So here, y'all can see these ends here, they gotta go. So all I'm gonna do is snip diagonally. Oop. And just catch all those little pieces. And making sure that these are the same size. And what I'm gonna do to do that is take this part, grab what I just cut, take this part, and make sure they're as even as possible. Yeah, I think we can make this work. What you think? Can you see? Let me show you.
I can feel it.
It's getting even. So we can, that's gonna be my guide. This is gonna tell me how much I'm gonna keep cutting as I move forward, as I move further along. Well, now when I say it's gonna be my guide, what I'm gonna do is take another piece, slice it down, comb it. You always wanna make sure that section you're cutting is combed out pretty well. And when it comes to cutting kinky hair right, you want to make sure that you're not pulling it too much, because remember, it's curly hair, okay? It's gonna poof back into its original state. So you wanna pull enough but not too much to where you're not really getting the right amount of tension to respect the shrinkage that's going to happen. So I told you this was my guide. So I can see how here is my guide. I'm gonna keep on going respectfully. And I cut it in a diagonal motion because I want the hair to flow like a U moving forward. So you can see that. And continue to use that as my guide. I'm gonna keep slicing. I'm gonna slice another piece down here. Then I'm going to collect from where I cut already, and then use that as my guide as well. Like I said, have that detangled and combed out. And then I'll be able to see where my guide is. piece back here, which I can use to connect this the whole entire head now. See this piece, even that out right there, then we're done. And then I want her to run her fingers through her hair and tell me if she feels anything that she want me to address. So we got these small pieces here. And make sure by using the comb to comb it out. See, stuff like that you can get. Now the whole point of a trim is to reduce these little things right here, which causes knots and frizzing, and also split ends. If she doesn't necessarily have split ends because she doesn't play with heat or protective styles too often, she does hydrate and cleanse her hair very often as well. So there's really not any split ends, thank God. But one thing you want to make sure of is to reduce breakage. You want to keep up with your trims, okay? So you'll know when you need a trim if you see shedding happening, knotting, if detangling is much harder, more difficult. That thing means that it's time to cut those old ends off. Okay. Now I want you to see what your hair looks like. Period. You got these ducklets. Yay! Okay. What are you thinking about the cut? Good. Good? Okay. You don't feel like I chopped off too much? Yay! You know, this is the make or break for me, okay, when it comes to hair cutting, alright? Your hair looks so good. Feel it. Run your fingers through it. You see her? Of course, my dear. Thank you. Did you just schedule that appointment? Okay, Connie, catch content.
Okay.
Nice.
I won't do them so small then. I'll just put like.
How would you mean? Because I ain't gotta record the whole thing if you don't know how small.
No, I'm saying.
But big your hair.
Like how I normally, like, you can decide I did them last time. I'll do them bigger though. That way I will take them out sooner. That's what I'm saying.
Thank you. Thank you. There you go. And then you'll be able to alternate the size. You can come to me and I can do this small. That's what you're saying, right?
Yeah, you can.
Okay. So, that is it. You see how you see this beautiful hair? Oh. Thank you for letting me make content. I appreciate you. And I hope y'all learned something, okay? Period. Yo, she looks like a whole queen up in here.